So, Assalamu alaikum, all of you. Welcome to second lecture. Today,
Walaikum salam.
okay. So today I would like to discuss self-introduction. So, what is self-introduction according to your point of view? Do you know? Let's talk about self-introduction. So, what is self-introduction? So, like, introduction is any form of interaction that tells who you are, what you do, and what others need to know. Since others vary in every single case, but the first two parts mostly remain the same. A good self-introduction covers all the topics one need to know. Like introducing yourself, whether in a professional capacity or a casual one, is vital to know people will perceive you for the following interaction I will discuss during the lecture. It is essential to create a near accurate image for yourself in the mind of person to feel comfortable and courteous while you are interacting with one another. Whether to say, hi, I'm XYZ and scratch your head, or say, I'm this and that, is no confident indication of who you are. The right indication of who you are, like the introduction must not be too long or too short. It does not have to be crammed speech. Your introduction does not have to be completely technical or professional. But what does it have to be? How do you introduce yourself? Like whether it is the right capacity, professionally or otherwise, how do you engage people in your introduction? So, like I have seen people introducing that they are creating cram speech. They're like nodding their head, they're losing confidence, doing this and that. So we need to focus these points that it should be not too long or too short. It should not be a cramped speech. It should be normal. Like normally, people may ask you, "Where are you from? What do you do? What are your special skills? What are you passionate about?" So let's talk about self-introduction tip. So what is self-introduction tip? Do you know? Hmm? Okay, right. A self-introduction is actually a form that tells who you are, what you do, and what others need to know about you. Like there are some examples. We can say that a good self-introduction cover all the three parts, which I'm gonna discuss within a limited set of words so people can understand who they are interacting with. Here are a few situations where you are required to introduce yourself. So the first point is giving an interview or interviewing somebody, meeting somebody new in a professional or casual gathering, meeting people at a meeting, hiring somebody, building new connection. So first impression is the last impression. So what does it mean? So like it talks about the introduction with anybody who help you build connection and acquaintances. Like it may assist you in providing the necessary detail while ensuring it does not sound like a speech, whether it is a written intro or spoken one. Like how do you introduce yourself? Do you know? So like there are some point we need to keep in our mind. If somebody don't have like if somebody asks you introduce yourself, you must offer a proper self introduction that engaging and remarkable in a way that the other party remembers who you are the next time you come across. It helps in making the right impression. A positive first introduction goes along in many ways. Like we have to tell about name, father's name, area of interest, and these type of things. So We also talk about like the place, environment, and gathering matter. Each case is different, so it does better like it does matter. So you understand whether it's a professional introduction or you require a casual one, like it is formal or informal. If it is professional one, you need to understand the room. So you need to understand the scenario. You need to understand the decorum. So once you're done with that, like if it is like professional, so you talk about you, who you are and what you do. So the tip should be like telling your name, what you do, telling your professional title by a simple sentence, or what you do is a nice way of introduction. Fine. So how do you make it how do you make it relevant? Making relevant meaning is that you need to take care of the context. Like it is by far the essential tip for any introduction. You can't be talking about technology in any environment that has nothing to do with it. Fine. So you need to talk about the relevance. Like if you are at somewhere, you are giving the introduction of teaching, so your introduction must be relevant to your teaching field. Fine. You should not be telling about your family, your uncle, and all that. No. Talk about your like contribution. What are your contributions? So it is actually formal, or you can say professional setting. It is paramount that you talk about what you bring to the table. You build your value by talking about how you have contributed to the project or company, since the new people or people outside your circle will not know what your constructions are. So you need like this type of thing. So next point we discuss, in case of an interview, we have to dress properly. Fine. So it should be official dressing. For example, like you can dress casually when you go for an interview. So the first thing, dress is part you get, like you get to know about dress as well. Like it is the one of the most basic things during a presentation or introduction or interview thing. It is very much essential in personality building as well. After that, prepare what you are going to say. So you should know that what you are talking about. Like if you have an interview in the morning, you should consider writing what you are going to say down on a paper or practicing in front of a paper. So it will help you build up fluency. Fine. So preparing what you are going to say in advance is one of the vital presentation tips. So not only just for an interview, but it will also help you in personality building as well. So next we talk about body language. So in body language, there are some important things you need to know. Like body language is a key. It speaks a lot about your confidence and who you are. For example, you say, keep yourself relaxed. You know what I mean? Your shoulders back and your chest high. It will help you in communicating well with the interviewer. Like you should not be confused. You should not be locking your feet. You should not be scratching your hands. You should not gaze here and there. You should just stick to the point, and you should have a proper body language. Like overuse of body language is somewhat like awkward. You should avoid that. And the before, during, and the after. Like you should know that, hi, I'm XYZ. I have an interview at 1 p.m. for the XYZ role. Like you should know, and like you should use these type of words. Fine. Like whenever you are ending the meeting, introduction, whatever, you should know that you have to use good words. Start and end should be your good. Like it was a player meeting. I appreciate giving me your time today. Hope to see you. Nice to meet you. You should use these type of words. Like you may be seated in front in any time once you meet your self interview. Like you have to introduce properly and use proper language. So wrapping it up, what is wrapping it up? Like I have seen people in many situations where they introduce themselves all of a sudden in gathering. whether professional or casual. In such situations, you know what, I have seen them, they often think about how to introduce themselves, their routine process, often like they often fail to do these type of things. It is useful to have already thought of a nice introduction. So that tips of who you are and what you do. So I think that's enough for today. Rest of the lecture would be covered in lecture 2. Thank you for your precious time. If you have any question, you may ask. And tomorrow we would be discussing about the importance and examples of introduction. Thank you so much.